Today I'm going to be comparing these 3 budget espresso machines that all cost about the same on Amazon. They all have 20 bar pressure and milk frothers, but there are some big differences that I want you to know before you buy. So as far as attachments go, they all came with the same attachments. They all have the coffee scoop and tamper, and then the portafilter with a single and double cup filter. So they all have those things. They also all have a removable drip tray. This one just comes apart like this, and it has 2 pieces. The Cusimax looks like this. They're all nice stainless steel ones too. And this one's a little bit different. Instead of the whole front removing, there's just 2 pieces inside that can come out. I think that really helps with the compact size. As far as the look and the buttons go, this one has actual buttons, and there are 4 buttons up here. So we do have a double and single cup button, the cold espresso button, and the frother button. A lot of people were thinking this was a screen. It is not, it is just a sticker. So I feel like that kind of downgrades the look of the espresso machine. I tried taking the sticker off, but it's really on there. So I don't really like that sticker. Next, for the Cusimax, this one is a touch screen, so it feels very luxury with still being a budget espresso machine. We have a bunch of different options on here. This one is the one with the most options. So we do have just the regular espresso, the double espresso, Americano, double Americano, cool, and double cool. And then we do have the steam button as well as the on and off button. And then lastly, this little JZ.CAFE one has only 3 buttons. So we do have the power button, single cup, and double cup options. Also, they all have warmers on top, so you can warm your cup as you're brewing your coffee. They don't get super hot, but they do warm your cup a little bit, just so your espresso shot isn't going into a super cold cup. As far as size goes, I do have them lined up from biggest to smallest. So the JZ.CAFE is going to be our smallest and most compact espresso machine, and the XIXUBX is going to be our largest one. But even though it's the largest one and it's going to take up the most room, that does mean it has a larger water tank. So this one's going to be 42 ounces, whereas these 2 are only 34 ounces. So that does mean you won't have to refill the water tank on the XIXUBX as often as these other 2 espresso machines. As far as the frothers go, this one is the simplest and easiest to use. You literally just turn the knob to go to hot water, coffee, or steam. And this frother does have an outside piece and an inside piece, so you can clean that. I will say this frother is the shortest out of all of them, so it doesn't go very far into your cup. So you do have to have more of a shallow cup to do the frothing. Next, on the Cusimax, we do have a more complicated knob. It's just not as clear as the other one, but it does have a nice long frothing wand. So I do like the size of that one. And then this one's very similar to the Cusimax. It also is just a little bit more complicated, but not impossible to learn. And then this is the largest froth wand. It's just a little bit longer than the Cusimax. So you shouldn't have any issues with this reaching the milk in your cup. So I am going to be doing a double cup espresso on all of these machines. So now that we've lightly tamped our espresso, we're going to go ahead and put that in. And this one goes in super smoothly. I do like the fitment of the portafilter. It fits really well. Now, if I wanted to do a single shot, I would just hit it once. But if I'm doing a double, I'm gonna hold this for 3 seconds. So it's gonna blink while it's preheating. And we're gonna put our cup up here to warm up. It did take about 4 seconds to preheat before it started brewing. And that's about how loud it is. All right, moving on to the Cusimax. We have our tamped espresso. This one is a little bit more tight getting that portafilter in, so you do have to hold the machine to get it into place. But we're gonna go ahead and hit double espresso, and it's gonna take a second and preheat. We're gonna put our cup up there to warm up. That did take a long time for it to preheat, and this is about how loud this one is. So now that we've done those 2 espresso shots, you can kind of see the Cusimax just gave off less espresso than the XIXUBX because these cups are the exact same size. Last one, we're gonna go ahead and turn this on. And for this one, it actually starts preheating the warmer as soon as you turn on the machine. Same thing, we're gonna be using the double cup filter. And the fitment was a little bit less tight than the Cusimax, but still you had to hold the machine to get it into place. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and press the double cup button. This is about how loud this one is. So as far as preheating time went, this one took the longest, this one took the shortest amount of time to preheat, and this one was in the middle. So the JZ.CAFE, it did give off the same amount of liquid espresso as the XIXUBX, but the XIXUBX was just a more foamy espresso. And I did try each espresso right as it was brewed, and I couldn't tell a difference other than the XIXUBX was a little bit more foamy, but that's just a texture thing. Honestly, they all tasted exactly the same because they're all 20 bar. All right, so now that all the espresso is done, let's go ahead and froth some milk. We do want to warm up our steam wand, so I'm gonna hit the steam button right here and wait for it to stop blinking so that it can preheat. Now that it's done blinking, we're gonna go ahead and turn on the frother to warm it up. Now let's go ahead and froth some milk. We're gonna do that at an angle, and you wanna pull it down until you hear that tearing paper noise. And you just wanna do that till you have your desired frothiness. And the frother did work really well. You can see the bubbles are just amazing. It's this nice bubbly light foam. And then to clean off the frother, we're just gonna run it again with a wet towel. And just be careful that you don't have your hand underneath the frother because that will not be good. But that's just to clear out all the milk out of there. Now we can go ahead and add our milk to this espresso. And I like my lattes very foamy, so you don't have to put this much foam in, but I like this much foam. And I'm a little clumsy, so I gotta clean up this mess. The frother was actually pretty easy to use. It did take a while for it to preheat. Just be patient and know until this stops blinking, you can't froth. Also, if you want hot water, all of these lights need to be turned on, and then you can just turn the knob and you'll get hot water. All right, moving on to the Cusimax. Again, we wanna start by preheating it, so I'm gonna hit steam and let it preheat. So it's gonna breathe like that until it's done preheating. All right, so now that it's solid, we can start frothing. Go in at an angle so we can froth it properly, and then turn the knob all the way. And there's that tearing paper noise. All right, now we're done frothing. We're gonna clean off this wand. And here is how frothy this one got. Again, really good frother. This one honestly was a little bit better. Look at how silky that is. Like, this frother worked better than the XIXUBX, and the XIXUBX was actually a pretty good one, but that's really decent. And then making our latte. Like, look at that foam. I am very happy with that. You can also do hot water for this one too. So if you just unhit steam when it's on this menu and all these lights are lit up, go ahead and use the steam function, but hot water will come out instead. All right, last one, the JZ.CAFE, and we are going to preheat our steam. You don't have to hit any buttons on the front for this one. It's super simple. All you have to do is turn it to steam, and it's gonna preheat for a little bit. Hot water did come out first, and then steam came out. So that was it preheating. So it doesn't give you a warning. You just kind of have to stick your milk in after it preheats. I didn't get there quite in time, so it did make a little bit of a splash. There's that tearing paper noise. And then just cleaning it out. And this one, you can take this part off to clean it as well. It did froth and it was decent, but this one, I don't know if you can tell, but the bubbles are much bigger. There are less of those micro bubbles and more of the bigger bubbles. So the foam isn't gonna last as long. Those big bubbles are going to pop a lot faster. So that's why we want the micro bubbles. They last a lot longer and it just gives a nicer texture. But it did still froth, so if you don't care about that type of stuff, then I wouldn't worry about it. But those bubbles are a little bit bigger. So just as a recap, the XIXUBX did a decent job frothing, did give the biggest and foamiest espresso shot, and has the largest tank. But one of the things I really don't like about this machine is how cheesy this looks. I wish that they would not put that on. But other than that, I think it's a really decent espresso machine. Moving on to the Cusimax, this one was the best at frothing. It had that silky micro bubble froth. It also has the most features. So there's a bunch of really cool things you can make with this machine that I did not mention. You can make cold coffee, you can do an Americano. There's just more options with this one. And the touchscreen just feels so fancy. but it does have a smaller tank than the XIXUBX. This one was the tightest fit for the portafilter, so I did have to really hold the machine to get that on. Lastly, we do have the JZ.CAFE, this cute little espresso machine. I love how small and compact it is, so if you're needing a really small espresso machine, this one is the smallest size. I did like how the heater turns on as soon as you turn on the machine, so your cup can be warming up as soon as you turn it on. These other ones didn't turn on the warmer until you actually start brewing, and it is the simplest, easiest to use for beginners. The controls are just really self-explanatory and easy to use. I will say the frother was the least impressive out of all of these. It did give these bigger bubbles that don't look as good, but if you're not a coffee snob, then that shouldn't matter much to you. It also had the shortest frothing one, and then this one also did have the smaller water tank as well. So with all that being said, if you want more features, definitely go with the Cusimax. If you want a larger tank so you don't have to refill it as much, go with the XIXUBX. But your simplest and cheapest option is definitely going to be the JZ.CAFE. But yeah, that's all I had for this comparison. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. Anyway, thank you for watching.